Tonight, Google Glass will sing tonight. It's the operatic version of This Week in Google Glass. We'll talk about football and glass and agriculture and glass. This week on This Week in Google Glass. Luke made me do that. Actually, there we are. You might have just completely missed me singing it. You might have seen Luke just sitting there going, "Hi, how's it going?" But I sang this. I sang because I had the clicker on the wrong spot. So,
oh no!
But anyway, this is This Week in Google Glass. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. Think Magazine put into geek. You've got Geekazine for This Week in Google Glass over at twig.tv, twigg.tv. And as always, the operatic partner in crime, you're going to sing your name and you're going to sing where you come from, right, Luke? You're going to do it. Yes, you are. So go ahead and sing away. Luke Wallace.
My name is Luke.
His name is Luke.
On Twitter, I'm Luke Luca.
On Twitter, he's Luke Luca.
What else did I need to do? I was like,
I don't know.
Luke at twig.tv.
With 2Gs. We got 2G speed with the twig.
Yeah.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
Do a little beatbox. Do a little beatbox in the back, and we'll do the rap version.
Okay.
Here we are at Twig. We're gonna do it now. 2 double G's is where we have how. That's all I know.
All right.
Okay. Luke, where can how are you doing this week?
I'm doing just fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. Well, you can tell we're taking this real seriously tonight. But yeah, no, it's good. Doing real good.
Well, we always take the show very seriously, but we want a little bit of fun. We want you to have a little bit of fun. I had a little bit of fun today. Luke, you had a little bit of fun today. I don't know if you saw my pictures that I've been sending out this morning, but it was actually pretty fun, pretty cool. And I can't show you because the desktop presenter is not turned on. So let me turn that on really quick. Did you by chance see the... Well, first of all, I want to show everybody where they can go for the show. Let's see if we've got that. There we go. Over at twig.tv, twigg.tv. You can go there and find out more about This Week in Google Glass and go from there. But this week, today it was just kind of, I was having a little bit of fun, and I was up on Twitter and stuff like that, and Mr. Will Wheaton put out a challenge, and he said, see if I can find it really quick. He said, "Hey, Photoshop me," and he had a picture of him on a green screen. Mm-hmm. So let's see if I can find it really quick. So I decided to do some Photoshopping. So I ended up doing this and making this picture right here of Mr. Will Wheaton. Of course, that's the Steven Spielberg and the red shirts.
Yeah.
And then I put Will Wheaton in the background, and it got tweeted, and it's actually bumped up my Twitter engagement tenfold. So that was kind of cool, but nothing to do with Google Glass. I just thought I'd show you that.
That's where they can find you on Twitter. So
yeah, you can. Yeah, if you see me on Geekazine, you know I'm the one that's remixing Will Wheaton.
How do you spell Geekazine? What is it? Is it?
It's like Will Wheaton. It's Geekazine.
Geekazine?
Geekazine. Geekazine. I don't know. That's fun.
I think magazine, and then I put in a geek, so then I get Geekazine.
Really?
That's how I do it. That's how
okay.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
It's interesting.
It's like me going something like this. Just something like this. It's like, what? Anyway. Oh, nice.
You're having fun up there, aren't you?
Well, I try. So anyway, anything? Did you see anything? Did you take any pictures with Google Glass? What'd you do with your Google Glass?
I did. I took a few pictures, posted them up on my Google Plus this morning. There was a kickoff for a big North Texas Apps Challenge that I was at last Thursday night. in downtown Dallas. And so that was kind of neat. Got to see a few of the different local councilmen and some local business owners, and the company I work for is partnering with that whole event. So it's not really a hackathon because it's going on over several months, but it's all about sustainability in North Texas, both or energy and water, and they have a lot of money in prizes based on each of those categories. So I think each category has up to $20,000 in prizes, and so each category has that brings the total to $80,000 in cash winnings that you can get by writing an app. So there were a lot of people that were there interested in learning more about kind of what the challenge is, what the thoughts are from the different groups. It was really really nice to kind of meet some of the developer community.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's a quick picture that I grabbed on the way out that's Reunion Tower, the big ball in the Dallas skyline. So
oh, okay.
You can see it from downtown, real nice.
And there's a guy that's talking probably about some apps and stuff like that. And that looks like the end of the so. All right, well that's pretty cool. You had a lot of fun there with that. Anything else that you did this week?
I bought a car last week because my car died. So.
Oh yeah. That's you overheated. I saw that.
Yeah. It was time for a new one. So I'm geeking out with a pretty techie car, Chevy Volt. It's just a couple years old and real low mileage, so it was a good deal. So I'm excited about that.
My good friend Rob Greenlee over at Podcast One actually has he has the Leaf. I'm sorry,
okay.
He doesn't have the Chevy Volt, but I've seen the Chevy Volt multiple times at CES.
Yeah.
Awesome car. So I hope you have a great time with that. It's come drive up to Wisconsin because I live in
Madison, Wisconsin, obviously.
Okay. Come on up to Madison, Wisconsin, pick me up, and take me down to Dallas, and we'll have some fun.
Yeah, I think I'll have to use some gas for that. It can't do that whole thing on one charge.
All right.
Yeah, but
All right. Well, I've been geeking out because this last week, my friends over at Verizon have given me a tablet to play with. It's a review model, so I got to send it back, of course. But it's the Sony Xperia Z2, which is you can only get it at Verizon right now. So really cool, and I've been geeking. It's a basic Android tablet, but the cool thing is that let me get this going again. And I have it paired with my glass. You can actually see what's going on my glass. There's a nice angle, so you can see the time, and you can see I'm in a call with Luke. And then we're going back. I've got some scheduling stuff, couple of birthdays, and 70 degrees here in Madison, Wisconsin, which is a cold front for you down in Dallas, right?
Yeah, it's not going to get that cold for a while down here.
But one thing about this is, I've been playing on a lot of phones with glass, but this is the second tablet, the iPad, until it stopped working. This is the first Android tablet I've played with. But the best part about this is if I ever technically need to really show people what this does and not have to take off my Google Glass, this tablet will definitely be able to show a crowd without a problem. So I kind of like it, and I'm going to do a review on it, so you can watch over at Geekazine for that review. It has this big come up in the next couple weeks. We're going to do a couple different videos on the Sony Xperia 2, so check that all out. So. All right. Well, without any further ado, let's get into the news, and we've got a new section. If you're watching on YouTube.com/This Week in Glass, you'll see on the bottom corner there during the annotation something slides out and says, "Hey, if you want to see all the links, if you want to see the questions and answers, which we do have set up for this session, and you want to see the showcase, click on here, and it'll take you to a page where it'll play the video." And it'll show the showcase, which will then show these items. As I click on them, they will show up into the stream, and you'll be able to do it. Like, for instance, this first article, which is where we're going to start today. Google Glass was banned at Comic-Con. not technically banned at Comic-Con, but certain panels could not get in. You could not get in if you had Google Glass on, and it's of course I have a feeling it was because of the whole video recording thing or anything like that. I have a feeling that they also probably turned around and told people that you could not pull out your phone, stick it up in the air, pull out your tablet, stick it up in the air, and do video. And they were probably watching for that. But we're talking about basically big name videos and stuff like that. And of course, every session that would ban it said, remember, recording footage on the screens during panels is prohibited. This includes Google Glasses. You cannot wear Google Glasses during footage viewing at any program room. If your Google Glass is our prescription, please bring a different pair of glasses to use during those times. And that was on Comic-Con panel. So you were seeing stuff that wasn't ready for the world just yet. Like, well, I guess some footage of maybe the Avengers or something like that. So they were not able to get in there. So if you're a geek, you go to Comic-Con. But if you're a true geek, you're not going to get into Comic-Con because you can't wear your Google Glass. Go figure. So weird stuff. I don't know why they're even doing stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. But that's their show, that's their decision, and I totally support that. So if you want to see that, that's over at PCMag.com. Luke?
So, in other news, there's a Philadelphia-based entrepreneur. Well, there's a company called Bentley Holdings that they have an innovation lab where they actually help enterprise companies set up and develop some new applications. And so, one thing that they've announced just today, I think, is that they're actually working on some Google Glass products for some of their kind of partners or some of their clients. And so they haven't announced which companies, but they have said that they are working with a luxury automotive manufacturer, a packaging manufacturer, and a regional healthcare provider. And I'm sure they're going to be working with other companies as they develop this technology, develop their enterprise technology stack, figuring out how to do all of the authentication issues and all the things that enterprise applications, security, data storage and stuff. They don't want to download the data too much, or they don't want to have too much information stored on the device so that it's safe. And if it is stored, it's encrypted. And so there's all these kind of more enterprise concerns. And so Bentley Holdings has said that yes, they are going to be working on some enterprise applications for Google Glass with these partners. They haven't said who these partners are, but it's exciting to see that they have these companies interested and that they're going to be building stuff. So they didn't announce any sort of timetable or when it would be coming, but it's something to be on the lookout for, and something that's just really interesting from that perspective of glass getting into more enterprise, even though it's still in very early beta. We're seeing companies adopt it and look for ways to integrate it into. They haven't said whether this will be public facing or if this is going to be just for the enterprise, employees themselves. That's the more likely scenario, is that they would be using it on the job, manufacturing these automobiles or actually working in healthcare. And we've talked a lot about the healthcare aspects of glass, but and there's some other applications that are already being developed for healthcare, but this is just kind of another company taking that on and probably going in some different directions. So very exciting.
Well, a lot of enterprise stuff there. And my understanding is they purchased a company called Logistar, which provided SAP for them. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, they'll probably be integrating a lot of that just to, they can just integrate all these different solutions now. They have all these different resources and experts in different areas. So very interesting stuff.
All right. Well, next up is the Lenovo, your favorite Chinese laptop maker and server maker, aka IBM Lenovo. is now getting into the glass market. It's a Chinese hardware manufacturer, Lenovo. They unveiled their prototype version of a wearable computer, which I don't know. Let me see. It reminds me of something. I can't remember what it really reminds me of. Um, and it just looks very familiar. That cotton white in frames, and I don't know. It's really weird. And anyway, so Lenovo, of course, they're working on a glass, their own version of glass, which makes sense. Everybody's trying to get into the wearables. I would expect Lenovo to be making a wearable watch. I'll expect Lenovo to be making sensors in clothing to get into that market because it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar market. There they have a prototype of Lenovo's NBD project, which basically is a host of internet-connected devices such as smartphone-controlled air purifiers, fridges, and toasters. Yes, your toast can be connected to the internet. Yeah, do you want internet-connected toast? We used to have toasters in computers, and they were in the Mega, and they would make Babylon 5. Now they just make toast on command. I'm just saying.
I don't think I want the toast connected. The toaster, perhaps, but not the actual toast itself, because that would mean there's electronics or something in there, I think.
I would think too, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but that's over at the telegraph.co.uk. I did that wrong. It's UK. That's the sign language. So, Luke,
You know, the biggest problem with glass is that it's just so awkward looking that just no one looks good wearing glass.
are you saying I look ugly?
Well, that's what some people would say. Not that you look ugly, but that anyone wearing glass looks ugly. But
What are you
someone's
trying to say?
challenging that. Someone, let me move on. Let's not dwell on this little thing I said. Let's keep going. Somebody else has said, you know what? There are people who look good with Google Glass. And so they started a Tumblr, because I guess that's what you do. So it's goodlookinggoogleglass.tumblr.com. And yeah, it's people who look good with Google Glass. And so there you can go and get some nice pictures if you're doing a presentation or something and you want some pictures of people that look good wearing Google Glass. And they've pretty much collected all of the professional photography that they can find that has people wearing Google Glass where it doesn't look too bad. And so they are also opening it for submission. So if you have a picture or you have whether you've taken a picture of somebody wearing Google Glass that you thought looked kind of cool, or maybe you are someone with Google Glass who has a picture of yourself and you think it looks pretty good, you can submit your own picture there. So, fight the stereotype that it has to look awkward and bad. So this is good looking Google Glass. .tumblr.com.
I still think I look good with Google Glass. I mean, look, you look good with Google Glass.
I think I look okay with it.
I think
So
you do. Yeah,
I think I'm gonna have to
definitely.
submit a picture. We'll have to see if we can get on there so I can be one of the people of like, oh, I make this look good. I have proof because I'm on goodlookinggoogleglass.tumblr.com. So,
There you go. There you
yeah.
go. So I was forgetting to do the showcase, but I've now caught up on the showcase. So we're going to go to the next item here. And it's an infographic over on Foradian, Foradian. It's how to use how Google Glass might be used in education. And it's actually a pretty decent infographic here. Let's zoom in on it a little bit. Different things such as video guides, document lessons, augmented reality. Think about this. You're on a field trip, and let's say you're going to a state park or you're going to the arboretum or something like that, and there's no official guide. The teacher has to be the guide. Well, Google Glass could help the teacher become the guide by feeding information on them so they can keep watching on the kids and tell Timmy to get off the ledge and not fall to his death or anything like that, and go from there. So lots of different things. One of the big things, identifying learning disabilities, which a lot of teachers really want to be able to enhance, because if there is a kid that is having a hard time learning what to do, or how, what the teacher is teaching, get them the specialized education, and also not inhibit the other kids who are learning at a faster pace. So lots of different things. It's a great infographic. We've got that over at the infographic is over at opencolleges.com, and we'll have the link, of course, in the show notes over there.
And the showcase.
Right. And the showcase. And the showcase showdown, where you could win yourself a brand new car.
Oh, I'd like to win myself a brand new car.
You already got a brand new car.
You're right, actually. So, can't argue with that.
Exactly.
But I didn't win it.
Well, that's true.
I had to, since it wasn't new, I didn't just order it, so I actually had to, I guess, kind of compete with some other people. I don't know how many other people were looking at that car, but...
Did you negotiate on a price?
CarMax does not negotiate on prices. Oh, okay. They have a no haggle policy, so the price listed is what they sell it for. So,
did CarMax go, you can buy this Chevy Volt, or you could have what's behind door number 2?
They didn't, but I've heard that, I've heard you should always do that. You should always switch. The Monty Hall problem. You always switch the other door. So,
did you go into your Google Glass and get a barcode?
I did not, but maybe I could. I don't know if I could have at that point, but you know what? Now I can, because eBay, who owns the Red Laser app, has released a version of it for Google Glass. So Red Laser was one of the first barcode scanner apps on iOS, and they later came to Android. And it lets you scan a barcode and find the matching product. It looks up the UPC number and then does the matching based on that. And so it finds it through eBay and then also through nearby stores. So what this will let you do with Glass is pretty much scan a barcode and see how much it costs at nearby retailers. So help you do some price comparison. It says it scans the barcode, and then it lets you compare not only prices to online retailers, but also offline retailers that they have a database of. So JCPenney, Nordstrom, other places like that. So probably most useful in the kind of the fashion area where you're at a store and you're not sure if you're going to be getting the best price, but it definitely can help do that comparison shopping maybe a little bit quicker than pulling out your phone, if you have that option. So yeah, I had a great little utility that is now on Glass.
There you go. And you can find that. We got the link over at GlassAppStores.com. Our good friends over there, JD Singh and them. Congratulations. Thank you very much for posting that. We'll have all the links in the show notes. You can go over to twig.tv, twigg.tv, or this week you can googleglass.com to get those show notes. Or you can go to the Showcase Showdown, which is over here or over here, depending on what you're seeing. So, and that's the news for the day. I don't have an infographic for the switch over, so I was going to do big news, tiny hands, and we'll do that again. So, that was big news, tiny hands. Big news, tiny hands. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you don't have my sound on the soundboard. We spent all that time recording it, like you wanted it without any.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I got.
You have to go back and pull that out of there.
All right. Well, yeah, you're right, and I will. So
and make a graphic.
And make a graphic. Man, if you want to make a graphic, you're more than welcome to, Luke.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be able to tell if I made it.
It's not big news, tiny hands. That was that section. Yeah. Now let's get into the main source, the main stuff. And we're using the showcase, and I'm going to switch over to the Q&A part here to make sure we don't have any questions already in the Q&A area, which I don't see any questions just yet. But, of course, if you have a question during the live part of the show, you can always ask it in the Q&A section over there. All right, let's go back to the Showcase Showdown. I'm going to check on the next article, and you will see it into your Showcase feed. And the article is about the, it's talking about the Minnesota Vikings. This is over on DailyNorseman.com. But we're going to talk more on the generality, I think that's the word, of sports, using sports in Google Glass, and it comes from this article. Minnesota Vikings are utilizing Google Glass in their camp. They're using it to figure out, running and jumping and skiing and skeet shooting and whatever else they're doing. The team actually is making Google Glass available in the practices during the summer for any non-sanctioned work. So if it's an official NFL thing, I don't think they can use it anyway. So you could actually, as a coach, review a video of how somebody catches a football or throws a football or runs the route that they're supposed to run on there. And we were talking about it in length during this time on how this is not just with football. I mean, during the basketball season, we saw a couple basketball players wearing Google Glass. During one of the draft, I think it was the NBA draft, somebody was wearing Google Glass during that, and I think NFL draft, somebody was wearing Google Glass on that as well. But how much of a learning aid is this? Now, yeah, Luke, you played some football in high school, right?
No, not in high school.
In college?
A little.
Okay.
No, middle school. You're thinking middle school.
Okay. So if you would have had Google Glass when you were in middle school, first of all, you'd be like a super robot or something like that because, that was what, 2002 or something like that?
No, it wasn't that late.
It was 2001, right?
No, it was, let's see, middle school would have been...
Heck, right, we didn't have no middle school.
Yeah, 1990, like early 90s.
Okay.
91, 92, 93, somewhere in that range.
But if you think about it, you would have learned a little bit more by wearing Google Glass or any type of wearable technology, for that matter, on your body to learn how things, how you run or how you catch a ball or something like that, right?
Yeah, it definitely could have had some impact there as far as, like you said, kind of recording and being able to look at that later and kind of see, were you too focused on the sidelines? Were you, just kind of watching the people around you instead of watching the ball, that kind of thing. So there's definitely some learnings that you can get pretty easily just from pictures and video and then reviewing those later. But I think what we're really excited about is where this might be in a year or two. You had some ideas on what that could look like.
Oh yeah. Well, once again, it all has to be sanctioned by whatever sporting group would have to allow it. But you could literally, I mean, right now, I remember when coach quarterback microphones were installed in football helmets, and you could actually hear what was going back and forth in certain situations. And then some players get mic'd up every now and then during a game. But wouldn't it be cool that if they had not a Google Glass, but maybe some sort of wearable device on their helmet or something like that, so it doesn't disturb them, or with a basketball player, something that doesn't disturb their play, but can still record how things are moving and be able to not only record it but analyze it. I mean, instead of just video, maybe a coach has Google Glass on, and the player has sensors on their body. And the coach is looking and says, okay, what does 83 have? Ooh, 83 is overheating. We better put him on the bench so he cools down a little bit so he doesn't get cramps or overheat and have heat stroke or something like that. Or his heart's racing very erratically. Maybe a doctor could be watching and gets an alert and saying, hey, there's player number 24 has a concussion from that last hit. Get him out of the game. Get something going. These are things that Google Glass could actually really excel with inside of sports, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, and then you even talked about some of the training aspects of, timing your runs, but and then being able to show you a ghost runner or kind of giving the actual athletes some feedback on, how fast did you run that, and just kind of immediately, they finish the run and and it could even be more automated that way, because instead of having to have somebody there with a stopwatch timing you or whatever, it could be very accurate, and they could just be getting that feedback directly from the sensors on their body, and really just be more efficient in their training, and really be more connected to that data that's so important when they're trying to figure out how to get their times down, how to really perform at their best.
Yeah, definitely. It's cool to see where we're going with this technology and
Mm.
how it can be used on the sidelines, how it can be used inside the field, and I just can't wait for that to happen. And so, anything you want to add to that?
I think it's really interesting, and yeah, well, as we see more sensors, we see this kind of Internet of Things, that stuff all being connected. Yeah, just really opens the doors up, and it's not so much a question of is it possible. It's just a matter of time and just somebody putting the effort in to make up these different systems. And so there's a huge amount of opportunities out there for businesses that are looking to get into that. Somebody could be watching this and saying, you know what, I bet I could tie all that stuff together. I could take the sensor data, analyze it, summarize it, and then provide feedback in a really efficient way. And I bet people would find that useful. And it's not so much that it's really that difficult to do. It's just somebody hasn't taken the time to do it, and then market it to the right people to get it in front of them. And you could tell that it's nice to see that these teams are really open to using the technology, and they're just kind of playing around with it in a sense now, trying out one
Mm-hmm.
thing. But it'd be great, because it definitely shows, hey, the Vikings are about using technology to get better. Whatever ways they can do it to get better. They're not becoming robots and sticking robotic limbs on their bodies, but any way they can use technology to get faster and better, they're willing to try. So that's pretty exciting.
Exactly. We'll see what happens with this, and of course there are a lot of factors involved, and the biggest factor is if the NFL will start saying, "No, we're not going to let you do that."
Yeah.
But for now, there's a little bit of free reign in the open camps. During the games, you won't see that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and other sports follow. I'm surprised there hasn't been. I don't know if you follow golf at all, but I'm surprised there hasn't been anybody on the golf circuit with Google Glass or
Hmm.
trying to get Google Glass on the driving range or anything like that. So, is there any sport that you do follow?
Uh, not particularly.
Okay, fair enough.
I do follow all the local sports teams. I have those tied into my Google now, so I see those sports on glass, as far as the Dallas Cowboys and the Rangers and the Mavs, and um, you know, and then I follow my Texas Aggies for college football,
Okay,
so that I can just so that I'm kind of aware of what's going on. So, oh, the Cowboys lost, so I know certain people will be in a bad mood tomorrow, or the Mavs lost, that kind of thing. It's just more of like saying, "Hey, I saw the Mavs lost. Sorry about that," or "Oh, the Rangers have been winning the last few games," and I can kind of start a little conversation with a coworker or something just based on that. So,
okay, fair enough. Yeah, I do that too. Like, I guess Sterling lost his case, and now he's got to sell the Clippers, L.A. Clippers. So we'll
mm,
see what happens there. So, all right, well, let's move on. So basically, we go from sports, and now we're going to go to everybody's favorite topic in the world, agriculture.
mm,
And it's actually a very interesting article here. This is over on gadgets.ndtv.com. And basically, they're talking about how agriculture could really excel using Google Glass. And what they're really talking about is not as much the fact of a farmer having statistics in his Google Glass, which is great, but being able to say, hey, other farmers, I'm growing this bumper crop of soybeans or something like that in my area. It's growing like wildfire. I love it, and it's working well. How are you doing? And another farmer, let's say down in Florida or something like that, saying, my orange crop isn't doing too well. I'm glad you're having good time with soybeans. but there's the frost is here, and there's my oranges don't look too good, and that soybean farmer could be sitting there going, I wonder if you did this one thing that it wouldn't help with the frost, of course, but it might help recover from the frost. And that other farmer looks and goes, oh, wait a minute, that's not a bad idea. And then, of course, a week or two later, the other farmer comes up and goes, hey, my crops are doing better. This is what this article is really about. It's about being able to find out what type of agriculture is being produced in what area, how well it does. Like maybe a farmer's out there and he's going, well, maybe this year I'll grow oranges. And then somebody turns around and says, you're not in a state to grow oranges. And they go, oh, well, okay, well, maybe I won't grow oranges then. Or something like that. I'm not in agriculture, so I'm kind of flopping around here a little bit, but I get the gist of this idea is not only that you can watch and control your own crops, but also be able to tell other people what you learned so they can watch and grow their crops, and all of a sudden we have an overabundance of food and everybody's fed. And that's the most important thing on this whole situation.
Have you added that to the showcase yet?
The showcase showdown? No,
Yeah.
I did not. I better
Okay.
do that right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's really neat. It talks about how Craig Gansel, I hope I'm saying that right, has been developing this app called IntelliScout that helps with a lot of different things. Like you said, it's really connecting farmers of different types. It even talks about how it can do some tests of stuff by taking pictures and then analyzing those pictures. So it can look at, it says, like, for example, that they were testing it out in India with rubber trees, I assume. And so they can actually spot the imperfections in the rubber sheets better than the human eye can because of just the data analysis that they can do on it. And then for corn, they're actually counting the number of kernels on an ear of corn, I assume on just kind of one side, and then they can extrapolate and kind of assume a certain consistency around the case there. And so it makes it a lot easier for them to kind of analyze their own crops and tell, are they doing well? Oh, let's see, how many kernels am I getting for an ear of corn? Oh, do I really want to spend 10 minutes counting all the kernels, or do I want to just take a picture? One, I have a record of that now, and then I can also have it automatically counted for me, and just really make this a lot more efficient, and maybe take a few different samples and make sure that it's you don't want to just take the first ear of corn and be like, well, every ear is exactly like this one. You kind of want to do some multiple samples, and you could, with this, with it as automated like that, you could take 100 samples, and you could take samples from different parts of your field. You could kind of figure out, well, they're doing really well over on this side, but maybe not so much on this side. Did they not get the fertilizer? Did they, and you can start to do this kind of deeper analysis much quicker, instead of like, well, I have to spend all day counting kernels of corn, and then tomorrow I'll be able to analyze and I'm supposed to water tomorrow, but I don't really know if I'm watering right. I'm going to spend all day doing that, and I don't know if I'll be able to figure anything out. And now you could analyze it very quickly, then collaborate with some other farmers online like you were talking about, and maybe figure out, oh, that actually means you're overwatering those because they're, whatever.
So are you saying that rubber tree has high hopes?
Yes, I think there's something about high hopes and a rubber tree plant.
Is it high in the sky hopes?
I would say that
Like apple pie?
I would say they'd have those. Yes,
Yeah.
they could probably have those. Yeah,
And make sure that they don't go, whoops, there goes another rubber tree plant?
correct, exactly, because they wouldn't want to waste it. So
No.
I really think that you could probably even write a song about all this.
I think there already is a song that's written about this.
About rubber tree plants and high hopes. That doesn't sound likely.
High in
But
the sky apple pie hopes. I don't know.
I think you're
So
doing
when you're feeling down, you just got to think about that ant. Oh, you got to do it like Christopher Walken. When you're feeling down, you just think like that ant Whoops, there goes another rubber tree plant.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you just figured out what their theme song for IntelliScout should be in their online marketing. I think they should do a quick YouTube video about,
Agreed.
yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Copyright. Copyright. You gotta.
I'm guessing. I think that song is in the public domain, but I'm not 100%
But
sure.
the idea, like, I don't know.
The
Can
idea,
you,
yeah.
I don't know. There's got to be something you can
Yeah.
sue somebody over. I don't know.
Oh, this is totally unrelated, but did you know that they just found out that the Happy Birthday song you couldn't sing it on anything because it was copyrighted up until now when people realized the Happy Birthday song was written in the 20s and was it Warner Music or something like that squatted on it and then they started charging people. Well, now they're finding that Happy Birthday is a public domain song.
Oh.
And so there's a lawsuit for all these movies, all these TV shows that had to pay in for that Happy Birthday song.
After it had already become public domain. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but I'm just glad that now I can sing Happy Birthday to somebody and not have to worry about some police coming after me or something like that.
Yeah,
So.
you can sing it in a video, and you can get the YouTube, money for that video.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, I might be able to post a video I've got of people singing "Happy Birthday" to me through glass. So, on a glass-related note, I can actually connect this back to glass. This is related. We don't have a showcase showdown for it, but so at my company, if your birthday happens to fall on the day of the week that we have our big company meeting, the whole company sings "Happy Birthday" to you. And so last year, my birthday fell on a Tuesday, and so I said, "Hold on, I want to record this with glass because not many people have a video of 150 people singing them happy birthday individually." This isn't just like happy birthday to all you guys. This isn't like some monthly thing. This is like to me. And so I've got this video, but I've never posted it because I was worried about copyright infringement and YouTube stuff. So that's why I didn't post it. Yeah. So I wouldn't want to get sued by Warner for for posting a video with the happy birthday song.
Exactly.
So now I'll be able to do that. But yeah, so that's an interesting experience, having a video of what it feels like to have a huge group of people sing happy birthday to you.
There you go. And you could and maybe we'll post that. We'll see. We'll post it up on This Week in Google Glass, twig.tv. If you go to the Showcase Showdown, I just put the link in there for twig.tv. Or you can go to any of our pages and go from there. That does bring us to the end of the show, by the way. ndtv.com for the agriculture article. If you are in the ag, if you're a future farmer of America, you want to know a little bit more about how Google Glass can go, feel free to drop us a line. Jeffrey Powers here. Of course, I run a website over at geekizzy.com. Think magazine put into geek. You can find me in many ways. Just look for Geekizzy. You'll find my Twitter handle. You'll find my email address and everything like that. My Google Plus page is now at the Showcase Showdown where it is. Luke Wallace's is popping up right here. As I point over to Luke, tell us where they can find you.
So you can find me on Twitter. My name is Luke Luca there. That's LukeLuca. Or you can find me on Google Plus, google.com/plus Luke Wallace. Or check the Showcase Showdown for your, and bid on a fabulous showcase of prizes and stuff. But don't bid too much because then you lose the whole thing. So.
Oh yeah, and if you choose door number 2, don't, because you think you have a 50-50 chance between 1 and 2, but you really should switch back to 1. You have better. I watched Brain Games last night and they told me that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're playing the odds if you choose a door and then they show you another door. You're playing better odds if you switch doors.
Yes.
That's what I learned. So, all right. Well, that does it for this episode of This Week in Google Glass. Thank you very much, Luke, for your time and your effort and everything like that. Show note: there's going to be no show next week. I will actually be flying to California and going to Disneyland. Oh, I'm going to Disneyland. That's my best Mickey. I'm sorry. Although the funny thing is, I'll be staying at the Disneyland Hotel, and I will be there from Monday to Thursday. I will probably not step one foot in Disneyland itself this time, because we're doing lots of video, and it's going to be a fun week. It's going to be a really fun week. I can't wait for it to happen. But I'll be there, so no show next week unless Luke, you're more than welcome if you want to do a show.
No, I'll be traveling myself next Monday as well, so I'll be out of town.
Where are you headed?
Well, I'm headed down to New Braunfels, which is which to Texas people they might say, "Oh, I think I know what's happening there." But there's a big water park there, one of the biggest in the world actually, and I'll be down there for just a day, just taking a little summer break. So it just
Yeah.
happens to work out that we're both out of town on the same day.
Well, that's good. You know, I was watching some TV show about the best roller coaster rides in the world, where they take through three or four roller coasters, and then they rate them, and
Hmm.
then they show winners 1 through 4 on each episode. And two of the episodes, they went to San Antonio, Texas, and to Six Flags and a couple rides there. So you got
Yep.
some pretty good roller coasters in Texas, and I know I've been on a couple of them. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've definitely been on a lot of those there at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. So yeah, that's kind of neat.
all right,
Haven't done
okay,
them with glass though. I may have to try that. I don't think I'm going to take glass to the water park. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. But
yeah.
it'd be hard to do water rides with glass. But yeah, yeah, roller coasters. Maybe I may have to try that sometime.
Are you doing anything on Friday?
Next Friday?
No, this Friday.
Ooh, this Friday. I don't think so.
Well, you're in Texas, you're in Dallas,
Mhm.
and my friends over at GeekBeat.tv are also in Dallas. And I want to do a quick shout out to them towards the set at the end of this episode. They are launching their brand new building, the Geek Beat building, Livid Lobster building.
Oh,
The grand opening is on Friday, and they asked me to come down. Unfortunately, it costs money to go down. I would have loved to have said yes, but
yeah.
I've got a couple, with the Monday travel and everything like that, just wasn't going to happen. There's still a possibility I'm going down to Dallas on the 16th, 17th, so I might just go down there then. But then I just want to shout out to Callie and John and say congratulations on the new building, and they've got some great technology innovation. And Luke, if you have some time and it's in an area that you can get to, you might want to stop by and take some Google Glass, take some pictures for the show or something like that.
I may have to look into that. I don't remember exactly where their offices are, but I'll have to see about this new building.
All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, well, Luke, thank you very much for your time, and thank everybody out there. We didn't have any questions this week, I don't think. Let's just double check. I don't see any. So if you want to be part of the live show, if you are a Google Glass Explorer, let us know. Twitter us, email us, Jeff at twig.tv, Luke at twig.tv, 2Gs. We'll be 3G someday, and then we'll be 4G someday too. But you can find us over there. Say, hey, I want to be part of the show. I've already had a couple people that said that they do want to be part of the show, so we will get them on in upcoming episodes and go from there. But that was this episode number. This is 47, was it, of This Week at Google Glass. So, Luke, thanks a lot for your time.
Hey, thank you.
So, all right, well, thanks, everybody out there, and we will see you next week when we will have another episode. You guys geek out, and remember to stay safe out there. And we'll see you in 2 weeks, for another episode of This Week in Google Glass. Oops, there goes another rubber tree glass. Bump, bump.